Really? You clicked on that? Okay, all right. Well, I have some bad news and some good news for you. The bad news is, unless you're 7 feet tall and were born with a tennis racket in your hand, it's going to be extremely difficult for me to get you to hit 140-mile-per-hour serves like Riley Opelka. The good news is that in this video, I'm going to show you two of the most important ways to make sure you're optimizing ball speed on your tennis serve. So for this video, I'm going to assume you know how to generate force through body segments, hence a throwing motion. You know how to use a ground reaction force to simply swing your racket fast. But the problem is I get people that come to me all the time and I can hit the absolute crud out of the ball, but they can't get it to go in. Oftentimes, the problem ends up simply being the grip. That's right, the grip. And you may be someone that has tried to go to the chopper or continental grip on the serve before and really struggled, but make sure you stay till the end of this video. I'm gonna show you some drills. I'm gonna give you a different perspective on it that's gonna help you. And you really need to be on it, and I'll show you why. You see, it's well known in biomechanics that when you throw something, when your when your hand in this case is traveling as fast as it can, your wrist is generally in a neutral position. It's not curved in or out if you're really throwing fast, hence swinging fast, hence hitting hard. And the problem that most people have is since they're not on the right grip, in order to create the right racket position with a neutral wrist, you kind of have to be scrunched down. So let me show you what I mean. I'm gonna get down to my knees to show you this, but basically if I extend my racket up and I'm on the wrong grip and create a neutral wrist position, you'll see how my racket kind of points slightly up and off to the side. But if I change my grip to continental or the chopper grip, it's gonna position the racket face more naturally in a position that's gonna help the ball go in. Now let me show you that grip real quick. Remember, every racket has 8 sides. It's an octagon. If you start from the top edge, you have number 1, and then you have number 2. Okay, now all you have to do is take a line on your hand from the bottom knuckle of your pointer finger to this left palm pad. It's kind of a spot just above that little bump on your wrist right there. That's the other spot. Now the key is, just remember, the grip doesn't run this way on the racket. You don't want to hold it. You don't want to hold it like a hammer like that. You want to definitely be holding onto it more at an angle, more like a gun. So if I put that on number 2 right here, I have my continental grip. You'll know it because it's going to feel really, really bad. It's going to put the edge of the racket at the ball, and it's going to make you have to pronate to the hit, which your arm wants to do anyway when you're throwing fast. Now, if you're someone that hasn't used that continental grip before, just be ready. You're gonna really chop and slice that ball off to the left at first, or maybe be getting too much spin for a while. But hey, that's a good problem. You're gonna need spin a lot of times. Remember, this big flat serve we're working on, this 140 mile per hour bomb, even for Riley Opelka, goes in maybe 65 to 70% of the time. He's a professional. He does this for a living. So there's no problem with adding a little spin to your serve to make it safe, especially on the second serve. But for the first serve, just remember, yeah, you're gonna chop it for a while, but here's a great drill you can do to try to get back to where you can flatten it out again. It's gonna be just taking a ball and just trying to really spike it in the ground right in front of you. Take the ball, spike it, see how high you can make it bounce, and that's gonna make you pronate a little less. It's gonna make you kind of pronate more into the ball, and you're definitely gonna have to be fully extended. And that drill also, you have to do something that relates to our second tip for hitting the serve as hard as you possibly can. That second tip is simply putting your toss out in front of your body. How far? Well, that depends on your height, but basically, you don't want to have to calculate hitting down into the box. If your toss is too far over your head, you end up having to pull down. Again, this isn't going to allow your body segments to fully uncoil like they want. The goal is to get the trajectory of the ball to go slightly down by getting your body at the right angle. And you're going to get your body at the right angle by putting your toss in that right spot, however much out in front you need to have it. And there's a couple reasons people don't do this. You might have to go back earlier in your development to figure it out. But oftentimes when people first start off in tennis, they're a little scared to foot faults. They don't really throw out in front because they're afraid to have that illegal move. But remember, if you're hitting really big serves, you're definitely falling quite a few feet into the court after you serve, then having to recover back. But the other problem is the brain just doesn't like this feeling of getting in front of your center of gravity, this falling feeling. Your natural tendency is to want to protect your head when you start to fall. But that falling feeling, at least momentarily, is exactly what you want when you hit a big serve. You're going to toss out in front, you're going to hit it, and you're falling, and then you're going to catch yourself after you make the hit. So to work on that, very simple. Go out and just practicing your toss. Put a target out in front, slightly to the right, and see if you can get that ball to land on that target. Now make sure you're throwing it high enough so you can actually hit it, and then also remember to be in character. Pretend you are actually going to hit it, but then watch where that ball is bouncing. If you go into your normal serve and you toss and you see it bouncing on the baseline or behind the baseline, you know you're not getting your body in a position to where you can really freely let those body segments uncoil, which, don't forget, you also need the right grip in order to do that. So I hope those couple ideas make sense. If not, definitely leave a question below and I'll do my best to answer. As always, the best way to support this channel is to interact. Please subscribe, please share, and if you ended up liking the video, please like the video. I'll see you next time. So for this video, I'm going to assume you have a sports background. You know how to generate force with your body. If you don't know how to do that, you want to take a step back, go out, throw things at people, get really angry, see how hard you can kick things. Learn to just be an athlete by going out and being active. That's probably not the best advice.